Hey guys, glad to stop by. So today, thought we would do something fun for dessert, and that is brownies. Now I know I've done a couple, 2-3 different versions of brownies on the channel previously. It even has its own category now. But I was asked about a month ago maybe to make brownies for an event. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this, no problem. And I'm looking through my brownie recipes, and I have one. It's Chris's brownie recipe, and it's a fantastic brownie recipe. But in order to make it for essentially a group of 80, because we had cookies going with it, but still, you want some brownies. In order to make it with our recipe, our homemade recipe that we've had forever, I would have to take out a bank loan. It makes an 8x8, and with the cost of everything going up, chocolate, eggs, so on and so forth, that would have been a very expensive adventure. So I started researching. Plus, that brownie, as firm as it is, it's still a little fudgy, which means you're going to make a mess holding it, and you don't want that when you're making stuff for an event. They're not there specifically to get messy with brownies. They're there for something else, and the brownies are just an added bonus. So I kind of worked and found a bunch of cake style brownies. I found a bunch of fudge style brownies. I thought, okay, what is the common denominator here? And did a little research and found out, all you have to do is adjust and play with a couple different things, and you can come up with a brownie that's got a good fudge consistency but holds together like a cake brownie. So when you hold it, with a big square, we're talking 2 inches by 3 inches. All right, well, 2 inches by 3 inches. It won't fall apart on you, right? Because fudge brownies have a tendency when you get a big piece to fall apart. That's why you have a napkin. Cake brownies don't. So where was the happy medium? And I found it. And I want to share this recipe with you. Now normally this goes into a half sheet cake pan, but I took it down a notch, and we're going to do it in a 9x13 today, so there'll be plenty there for the family, neighbors, all that good stuff. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. Glad you stopped by. I hope you get something out of this video. Maybe check out some of the other videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. That's important. If you are returning or one of our new subscribers, welcome back and thank you. All that combined, the views, the liking, subscribing, sharing, especially the thumbs ups and downs, or whatever you choose to give. All that keeps us out of the algorithm, keeps the neighborhood growing, and that's really important. It amazes me that we've come as far as we have, but I know we could go so much further. But anyhow, I am going to give you all your measurements in cups, tablespoons, teaspoons. I'll also do grams and milliliters, so that way no matter where you're at, you can play along. Comments are always welcomed. I respond to all of them, good, bad, or indifferent. The only thing I ask is think before you type. It's okay to disagree with me or anybody else in the comments. Just be nice, be polite. That's all I ask. So that being said, why don't we head on down here to the counter, and we will get started on this brownie recipe. All right, hold on for me 1 second. All right, we are down here at the counter. So first things we need to do, 9x13 pan, and I went ahead and I lined it. In my case, since this is a non-stick, I buttered it, lined it. If you're not using a non-stick, or if you want on your non-stick, it's your non-stick, you can spray vegetable spray on there or something to that effect. Just be leery, because that ends up bonding to your non-stick surface. It can, and it's impossible to get off. But anyhow, we got that taken care of right there. And then I have turned my oven on to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius, and we got it warming up. So the first things we're going to work on is our dry ingredients. And this is a really simple recipe. And the dry ingredients are actually what determines your cakiness to fudginess. If you want more cake-like, a little more flour. You can also add baking powder or baking soda to it. I'm adding baking powder. Those two right there will help give you lift and stability, and give you a more cake-like. So if you want less cake-like, you add less flour. Now, in fact, the original recipe to this had a half a cup less flour and no baking powder. Just like if you want a richer, fuller one, more eggs. So like I said, I think I found a pretty good balance here based on the fact I made them. They were successful at the event, so I wanted to share this recipe with you. But in this container, I have 1 3/4 cup, 1 3/4 cup, 210 grams worth of all-purpose flour. And to that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of kosher salt, and that's 4 grams on the baking powder, 2 grams on the kosher salt. We'll go ahead and get those in there, and then we are going to add 1 cup, 92 grams worth of cocoa powder, and it's just unsweetened cocoa powder. You could use Dutch process too. I actually made this the first time when I tested it with the Dutch process, and it was phenomenal. But I ended up trying it again with just the unsweetened cocoa powder, and I think it gave it a more balanced chocolate brownie flavor, so to speak. It wasn't quite as rich, but it made the texture a little better. But the Dutch process was great too. So we got all that in there, and then we're just going to go ahead and give this a good whisk to get it all together, get all the lumps out. All right, we got our lumps out. Now, if you have to, don't be afraid to sift that through a sifter, because I know cocoa powder can get a lot of good lumps in it if you're not careful. And flour, I guess, could too. But got that whisk. Now we're just going to set that aside. So the next thing we need to do is work on our wet ingredients. And it is simply just 4 ingredients. I have got 2.5 cups, 500 grams worth of regular old granulated sugar, which just sounds like a ton of sugar, and it is. But it doesn't, it's not overly sweet. And you can back that down. You can do 2 cups if you want, but I found 2.5 cups worked very well for us. And to that, I'm going to add 1 cup, 228 grams worth of unsalted butter, and that's melted unsalted butter. And so we're going to go ahead and get that in there. And then the next thing we're going to add is 3 teaspoons, 12 grams of vanilla extract. Go ahead and get that in there, and then we are going to take that same whisk and we're going to whisk this until it is creamy and smooth. Okay, so we are creamy and smooth. Now it's going to be gritty still, but it's smooth. It's not like lumps of sugar or anything like that. But it won't be like texturally smooth until we bake it. The sugar's not melted, so it's going to be granule like the sugar. So the next thing we want to add to this is the eggs. It's the last wet ingredient, and we've got 4 large eggs. That's 200 grams worth of eggs, and we're just simply going to put them in one at a time and get them mixed in just like we would a cake, but we'll do them one at a time. So we got our eggs in, right? And now we've loosened it up a little, right? We're looking a little smoother, no lumps, no bumps. And this is probably one of the few times you'll not hear me say, go ahead and scrape down your bowl, because we're doing it by hand. So you'll feel it, you'll get every part of it, you'll know, which is kind of nice, right? So now all we're gonna do is go ahead and clean up our whisk there. And try not to get too much of it on the counter, but it's okay if you do. It's counter, right? So now what we have to do is we're gonna go ahead and mix in our dry ingredients to our wet. And I'm not gonna whisk it in. That way I don't have to fuss with trying to get it out of the whisk, because this is going to be a thick batter. So I'm just gonna take a silicone spoon. You can also use a wooden spoon, plastic spatula, whatever you have. And we're just gonna stir this in. So it's all combined and everything's wet. All right, so you're gonna think to yourself, man, I've been stirring this for a minute and it doesn't seem to be enough liquid to dry. Because I think every time I've made this is like the 4th time I've made this now. But here's the funny thing. You'll do that and then all of a sudden it will look like that. It's kind of the coolest thing. It's like there's not enough, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything's mixed and wet. And you're good to go. And you don't have to worry about so much over mixing it, because we're not using a mechanical tool. We're just using our hands. These are technically, I guess, mechanical tools, but we're not using a mixer. So we don't have to worry about over mixing it. We have complete control at this point. So, you want to get there. Now, it is thick. I mean, that's no lie. Look at that. one thick batter. So if you've achieved that, you're in like Flint, right? So now all we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it in our pan, our 9x13. All right, we got her out of the pan. I'm gonna take a spatula that I used to scrape the bowl with, and we're just gonna go ahead and get this even, and it will spread even. You wanna get it to all the corners, yeah, and make sure you leave nothing empty, so to speak. All right, so we got her nice and spread out, right? Hit all four corners, looking good. So let's go ahead and get her in the oven. And next thing we need to do is set our timer. So we're at 350, 180 Celsius. I'm gonna set my timer for 28 minutes, but I'm gonna tell you 25 to 30. Because it will really just vary on your oven, right? Some of us bake faster than others. Some of us bake more even than others. I mean, it just really varies on your oven. So we're gonna say 25 to 30 minutes. Like I said, I know in my oven, it's 28 minutes. At least that's what it was when I made them a couple weeks ago. So I'm gonna run with that. Now, toothpick test, just like anything else. You should be able to toothpick in and it should come out not wet. You may have a little crumb on it. Per se, but for the most part, it's come out clean. You don't want any just like lazy batter or heavy moisture or anything like that on it. So when I come back, I will have taken it out of the oven and we'll toothpick test it so I can show you what I'm talking about. And then we'll maybe try a piece. All right, I'll see you here in a second. Okay, so we got her out of the oven. Now all we have to do is give her a toothpick test. So I didn't shut the oven off yet because I want to make sure we're good before I do. But I pulled it out and I see no moisture on it. And there's like one little crumb, but that's it. So I know we're good. So what we're gonna do now is we'll go ahead and turn the oven off. I'm gonna let this sit here on the rack. I'm just gonna let it cool for about 15 minutes. And then I can take it out of the pan, which is why I got the handy dandy parchment paper in there. And I can let it cool down completely or until it's warm so we can serve it then, or however I want to do it. But either way it goes, we don't want to eat this yet. It'll melt your face off. So let's go ahead and get it cooled down. And when I come back, I'll have it cut and we'll give us a piece to try. All right, hold on for me 1 second. All right, so we went ahead and I got them cut up after they cooled and got some on a plate. The rest of them I put in a container because I'm going to take them to work for the kids. They do so love a good brownie at work too. But I want to show you what I was talking about. Find a centerpiece here. Thought I put one on top. Maybe not. Nope. There's one right there. But see how, I know it's only a 2-inch square and normally I cut these 3x3, which is a really big piece of brownie. But see how it doesn't fall apart. It doesn't, and it's still got that nice crunch on the top. That's my favorite part. But it's fudgy. It's not very cake-like, but it's not so fudgy that it doesn't fall apart. So now all we have left to do really is give it a try. And it bakes up nice and even, and that pan or a metal pan or a glass pan, because right there's an edge piece, and yet there's no doming in it. And I know sometimes, especially with a cakier type of brownie, it can dome. These don't. At least I have yet to have them dome. But anyhow, let's give them a try and see how they are. I mean, I know if this is like the other ones, whew, it's gonna be a good one. It's not super fudgy, which is what I like, but it's fudgy. That's important. I like that fudge quality that comes with a fudge style brownie. I'm just not a big fan of the mess that comes with it because usually it falls apart. Of course, I'm sitting here and it's falling apart on me, but that's the crunchy on the edge, on the top. But it's still got just a hint of cake consistency. The texture is still slightly cake-like with that. You have to try this, but anyhow, that's an amazing brownie. Not healthy for you by any means, but amazing all the same. They're incredibly dangerous. So quick story and then I'll let you go. But when I was creating this brownie, And I can honestly say that I created this particular brownie. I went through about 5 different recipes, trying different things, and we ate them all. None of them were bad, but none of them were exactly what I was looking for. And even Chris approved of these, and I didn't think I would ever be able to eat another brownie by the time I got done with these, but oddly enough, these are so good that I could probably eat them every day. I wouldn't want to. They're not healthy, and they're not horribly expensive to make. That was important to me. A lot of things I don't care about, the price of what it costs to make. Yeah, because I may only make it once or twice, but the stuff to make brownies anymore, the cost of chocolate, I watched it go up. I was buying a half a pound of powdered chocolate that with the cocoa powder we used. It was like $5.30 for an 8-ounce bag, and then literally overnight it jumped almost $7 a bag. That is a huge jump. Along with butter going up, eggs going up, I needed something that was not only economical for me, even for home use, but would be fun for you guys to make also, that we could all afford to make, right? You could even do things with this recipe, like maybe go a little lighter on the cocoa. I don't know if I'd recommend that, but instead of putting in so much cocoa powder, maybe put in some chocolate chips. Use what you have available. They'll work also, hands down. But anyhow, give this a try. Please do. I guarantee you're gonna love these brownies. I know we do, and I know there are 80 strangers who had never had my baking before that really liked them. So I think you guys will too. But let me know if you do down in the comments below, or if you have something similar that you do with brownies, let me know. That would be awesome to hear. I love to talk about brownies. But either way it goes, next time we meet up for dinner, I have no clue what we're gonna have, none at all, but I'm sure it'll be good. I hope it'll be good. Dessert, same thing, no clue, but I guarantee it'll be tasty. A little unhealthy. I'm flipping through a couple ideas right now for both of those. Updates coming on the kitchen. I got a off-topic beef with some manufacturers of some appliances that we ordered, but that's okay. We'll talk about that next week when we see what all we've accomplished so far in the building of the kitchen. I'm still torn with live streams. Let me know what you guys think about live streams. Yeah, I want to do them. I just don't know if I want to have enough people show up to be able to do them. I know there's a lot of restrictions when it comes to live streams. But we'll see. Either way it goes. But anyhow, I won't keep you any longer. I love you, and until next time we meet, tell somebody else you love them and that you love them very much. They may need to hear it. You know, times are crazy, and sometimes when I love you, maybe all somebody needs. It's gonna make them smile, make them feel good either way. It's gonna make you smile and feel good to tell them that. I guarantee. And if you make them some of those brownies, they're gonna know how much that you love them, and there'll be enough there for an evening conversation with them. Probably invite the neighbors over to have one or two. The guy walking down the street with his dog, family of 3. Give a couple to the mailman. Make him smile. That'll put pep in his step. I guarantee it. But till next time we meet, I love you, and I will see you then. All right. See you later. Bye bye.